The other thing that stands out to me is how people walk in a room. And women, I think women know that they're doing it. And the question to me is, have any of us done it or has it been done to us? When you walk in a room and you just don't speak.
Yeah.
How and you know that they know you, they're looking right at you or looking towards you, or they look at you and cut their eyes towards you, and all that, but don't speak to you.
Childish and petty, for one thing.
That's petty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't deal with that.
But I'm saying, you say you don't deal with, what does that mean?
Yeah, you
because
can't make
around
them.
people.
So okay, you don't deal with it. So what do you do with it though? You walk in a room, and you know this person. I speak regardless if they don't speak to me at all.
Right, and that's what's right. And that's what's been really hard, y'all. I've been on this.
And that's where I'm very ignorant, because if you're not speaking to me, I'm not going to speak to you. I'm ignorant. I admit it. It's childish, and I'm not going to you don't acknowledge me over and over. Fine, I'll just pretend like you don't exist. I'm serious. I'm really good at that.
What the dilemma has been for me, right? Because I'm the older woman, and the women are really adults, and you're supposed to be the role model for the girls, right? And that's huge to me. You want to be a good example for young women, right? So you speak, and after a while you're like, okay, she ain't speaking to me, I ain't speaking to you, right? But something doesn't feel right in your spirit and your soul. Right?
Yeah.
Because you know that's not right. You don't just walk in a room and speak to people.
But you can't make someone be. You can't make someone be who they're not or who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So
if I walk in a crowded room,
your best.
Right.
Well, it's not a crowded room. Go on. I'm sorry.
Walk in a crowded room and I know someone there doesn't like me, I'll walk and say, "Hey." I'm not going to say, "Hey, Marcy," "Hey, Pat," "Hey, Marie," "Hey, Gina," "Hey, now." I'm going to say, "Hey." That's it. So if you can respond or not, and I'm done. I'm not going to worry about whether or not you said "hey" back.
But now we're talking about who walked in the room first. See,
I told you
it's really complicated. I've been working with this for years, right? So now it's like, who walked in the room first? Who's supposed to speak first, right? Right. And so like, I'm already in the room. I'm already in the room, right? So now, am I supposed to speak when you walk in, or are you supposed to speak when I walk? So
okay. I was always taught that you're supposed to speak when you walk
into the room. That's the old traditional teaching. Yes.
Traditional teaching. But whenever I walk into any room, I always have in my mind, there are people probably in here that hate me. There are people in here that probably dislike me. There are people probably in here that like me. And there are people in here that love me. And I keep that in mind. So I expect anything. And there are people in there that hate me that I don't even know they hate me. How about that? There are people in there that like me and they want to be like me, but they don't want to say it. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to say it, but they look at you and they envy you, or they whatever the case may be. But I always keep those things in mind when I walk into a room, be it a crowded room or a few people in the room. There are people in here that don't like me, and I know that. And there are people in here that love me, but I speak to everybody. Love. I'm like, hey.
That's why
how you doing?
Hey,
what's going on? You can just for that.
Hey, everybody.
That's if you already in the room though. So everybody walking, hey everybody. Somebody else coming, hey everybody. Coming, hey everybody. That's not gonna work.
What? The Pat,
when you come into the room,
once you're in the room.
Right. Once you're in the room.
And I'm gonna tell you what's really, this has been. This has been the biggest challenge of my adult life, right? Since I got married, right? When you have young women, and I can't say anything because I've done it. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I'm speaking to the ex-wife, she doesn't speak. Eventually, I'm like, okay, I'm not speaking to you. Right? I'm speaking. Right. So then eventually you say, okay, I'm going to speak now. So you go back and forth yourself. I'm going to speak today. I'm not going to speak today, depending on how you feel, right? She always speaks back. But the first she wouldn't speak back, so that's why I stopped speaking. Then eventually she spoke back. So I'm like, oh, she's speaking back. So then you speak. But the issue for me is, again, you being a role model for young women. So now the young women, they walk in your house, they don't speak, right? Right. And so now if you say anything, now it looks like you're making a big fuss over
Now
stuff.
listen.
You make it.
Let me, Pat, let me just right here. So you're being a role model, right?
Right.
But see, your mama to them, that's their role model. You're not their role model.
I'm still a woman in their presence.
Right,
as
you're
far as
in
I'm
their presence.
concerned.
Listen, I get that. And I get why you're doing what you do. But the reason they may just walk around and feel like it's okay to walk in your in space or environment and not acknowledge you is because their mama is their role model and they're doing what their mama does.
Well, they're doing what they see what other women do.
Right.
See, because I know when I was a kid, I watched all the women. Right. And so you watch what women do. You know, they're your role models, right? So you watching what they do. And so but I hear what you're saying in terms of that. Right? I'm not saying I don't hear.
Patty, your situation is a little different, and I admire you, and I think you should continue to do what you do because the person that you are, that's just who you are, and that's what you advocate. You advocate positivity amongst women, so you need to keep what you're doing. And if that girl, the ex-wife, that's her problem. And I mean, I wouldn't be desperate for an in-depth conversation with her, but you just have to acknowledge her and let them kids see who you are as a person. I wouldn't.
That's a good point.
I'm talking about it now more. I'm trying to make it impersonal, more in a broader way. You know? So
my perspective is kill them with kindness. Kill them with kindness, and you know
that kindness stuff wears off after a while. I've been killing the kindness. I've been taking the higher road.
I know.
You've been killing kindness so much they're all dead.
Patty. But I also
they're all dead by now.
Right, but you know you got to do what your heart tells you to do. So you got to you just do what your heart feels.
That's right. You do what your heart feels and where your comfort level is, and your heart and your spirit, and as long as you walk away feeling good, whether she spoke back or not, you feel like you did the right thing. And you know that's.
So have you done it? Have you walk in the room, don't speak? You know, do you pissed off somebody? You shut them out? Because you know, and I know some women go into their private space, you know, and I'm one of those people. I have gone, you know, you got to go somewhere and process. I get that, but I've heard a woman just say, "I'm gonna ghost them," right? So they're doing it in a way that they know that they're doing something hurtful.
I don't.
And so
I don't even want to be in an environment where I got to be like that to people.
Exactly. I'm gonna say hello. I mean, I haven't. You know, I can't remember the last time I was in this position where I say I'm gonna ghost someone. I don't entertain that type of environment. I don't do that. Like, if I'm not going to be. I've not yet have to be in a situation where I feel like I don't want to say a hello, give someone a hello. I don't do that. I don't know how to do that.
Environment I want to be in.
But what happens is, sounds good, right? When you get married and step families and all that stuff, because it's family. You know what I'm saying? So really, you might not be.
I get it.
You see what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a little bit more complicated when it's family, and you got to be in these environments because you love the kids and you love the children and stuff like that. So I mean, it gets very, very complex.
Pat, I'm growing up. How about that? I'm not there yet. Maybe about that.
Let me share this with you too.
I might start collecting my Social Security because right now, if you don't show, like, I'm just not gonna do that. I'm not going to, I'm just not gonna. If I know you totally don't like me and you totally don't want me saying anything to you, I will oblige.
I'm trying to tell you, it's more complex than that. See, that's what I'm saying, because what happens is you do like them. They do, you like them, they like you. So they walk in, they don't speak.
Wait a minute, you like them and they like you and nobody's speaking?
Because what happens is, listen, I'm just telling you, that's what, this is the thing that I know that's complex, right? Because regardless of how I felt I've been treated, I still love everybody. I still love them.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm growing.
Right, because you realize people are where they are and they just don't know yet.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
They don't know, and they don't know how the laws work, right?
Yeah.
They don't know what goes around comes around,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you know all those things, and so you just realize people it's a growth process. But the thing for you is that you have to, it's how complex it is for you to have to constantly take that higher road, and some days you just don't feel
That's
like
so
taking it.
exhausting.
There's a lady that she hated my guts because
I got a lot of those ladies like that.
yeah, she hated my guts because we had the interest in the same man. We were very interested in the same man. Oh, she went out of her way. She got some of her friends to say and do things that were really mean to me. And I kept smiling and I was like, how you doing? How's everybody doing? And nobody wanted to talk to me. Well, just about 2 minutes ago, he texted me. He just texted me. She died last year. And I'm like, you spent all that time being so mean to me, so mean. Why do you have to be mean? Because you're using up unnecessary energy that you don't have to do. All kinds of things are working against your organs that doesn't need to. So I find that being nice to people, smiling, loving them is what I'm going to do, regardless if you hate me or whatever, is what I'm going to do. And when somebody called me and they said, guess what? And I said, what? And they said, so-and-so passed away today. And I was like, whoa, are you serious? And I'm not saying that to say anything, but Pat did say what comes around goes around. And you don't know how it's going to come around to you,
Yeah, it's
and like I said,
know.
he just texted me.
In the mail.
Continue to love, and I love the Bible. I read it a lot, and it says in order to have friends, you have to show yourself friendly, and that's what I do all the time. I show myself friendly, even if they hate me. I'm gonna show myself friendly.
You know what? I don't spend a lot of time, talking about, oh, I'm so secure, I'm a great friend, but because I am. I'm those things, and I know it. And I don't have to keep verbalizing it.
Right.
I just do it. And some people, whether they accept it or not, that's
on you. That's
I'm not gonna, I don't spend my time trying to convince someone of the good person that I know I am. I absolutely know I'm that person.
That's right.
So now I may not, show it the way that everyone does things in their own way or whatever. But when you know what's in your heart for real, you don't have to go around, oh, I'm just a great person and I'm just a good person, and I don't have to even say that because I know that about me.
Exactly.
And there will be people there. It's interesting. I'm just gonna be real brief. I'm doing a lot of purging or whatever, and I was going through old cards or whatever. And I've had like cards, so thank you for being such a wonderful person. Thank you for being a great friend. And I was like, I don't even remember when I got these things, but I kept them for so long. And I was like, wow, yeah, you're right. I am that good person. But, life will, try to beat you down. And life will try, and folks will try to make you feel that you're not worthy, or you're not a nice person, or you're not a good person, or you're just a really mean person or whatever. And that will affect your psyche if you allow it to. And I absolutely know, because I know my heart, and I know the things that I do and the things that I've done. And I know that I am just a really good person. Now,
we've gotten to a certain place of comfort to be able to kind of know who we are. We're clear about some things. We have made some decisions about how we're going to run our lives. But what would you tell, what kind of advice would you give women who do these things? Like they don't speak, that's their way of communicating, you shut down, they don't talk to each other, all those things that people do when they, and walking in the room and not speaking to people and things like that. What would you what would you share with other women?
First of all, I'm going to say that I do have 2 young ladies, and I know that you have to lead by an example. So I always tell them that there's times you have to rise above people. You cannot take anything personal.
Right.
And that's kind of what I do. I don't take anything personal. I'm not going to tell you, my children, or anyone else anything that I'm not going to do. So there's times you just have to rise above people. You have to be the better person. You have to speak, and I always speak to people. I don't look for you to say hello back. That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
You
Good
know,
for you.
I'm sorry.
I know. I said good for you. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know me, Darlene. You know how I am.
I know.
I think it's what you entertain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that people do things, and sometimes people are malicious. Sometimes people don't like you, and they don't even know why they don't like you.
Of course, yeah.
You know,
Of course.
and that's why you have to rise above it.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think, which is
And
one of the
I will send you a bill for that later.
So silly.
Yeah, and one of the conversations I want to have, because I think jealousy is a big thing that women need to talk about honestly,
Oh yeah,
openly,
absolutely.
honestly.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is unwritten rules that I think we have rules that we operate by.
Mm-hmm.
But
Give me an example.
Like walk in the room, you speak.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. You help out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just the little things that is expected of women, and when they don't do it, you're looking at them like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Your mama didn't teach you that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, those kinds of things. And so boundary things like how you deal with my man, you know, when you're in my presence of me and my man, you know, those
right.
kinds of things. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So but I want to do with that in another conversation.